All right, all right. Round 4, maybe tonight. Sorry about the technical difficulties to get us going, but welcome back. Let me know how I sound. Let me know how I freeze. If and when this, how I freeze, how I look. If this thing freezes, it's a wrap. Don't even bother trying to come back. It was a good try. 4 good at-bats. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, but we should be good to go now. So if we are, and anyone, in addition to John, is in the house, now is the time for questions, y'all. The numbers are low. Let's get it going right out the gate. I will talk some course at some point, but let's talk some ball here to get us going. Cooper, appreciate it. Y'all hanging tough as I sort through some issues. Man, I've had computer issues all day. All good now, though. I appreciate it. Whew. All right, what do we got? John, why didn't the Chiefs use the back or extra tight end in pass pro to help the tackles that struggled? John, I thought similar things. I will tell you, going back, excuse me, and watching the All-22, at least the vast majority of it, they did do some things. Now, they're not necessarily what I would have done, but they weren't left on islands, at least when the game was somewhat close. In the first half, they used wide receivers a couple of times to help the edge off. And really, there was a play that will be in tomorrow's video that should and could have been a touchdown to Hill early in the game early in the first half. And the wide receiver crushes the defensive end, knocks him to the ground. He gets up and goes to pressure Patrick Mahomes somehow. There's 4 hands on him at one point on the ground, and he still gets up. And so I probably would have gone a little bit heavier with bigger people, but it worked. Occasionally they mix it up okay. They just get to the point where, there's nothing you can do when you know you're going to pass. You can maybe set wider edges with some wings or things like that, but at pretty quickly in the second half, that thing was a wrap. And yeah, I honestly, I was surprised to go back in the film and see a little bit more than I remember seeing. I think it's just because it got so out of control and snowballed there at the end that it just felt like turnstiles at the tackles, but it wasn't like that early in the game. At least there were times when it wasn't like that. Chris Flores, difference between cover 2 and cover 3. Chris, it's like there is a massive course that exists for every single coverage. The main difference is just how many people are protecting the deep part of the field. 2 safeties or 3 DB types. Tommy, appreciate it. Tommy Marge in the house. Saad, I think that's how you pronounce your name. I apologize. Yo. Opinion on Carson Wentz. Tommy, I think he needs a fresh start. I don't have a real hot take. I think when he's healthy and when he's in a situation that allows him to take advantage of his skill set, I think he's shown that he can play at a high level. I think he needs to do it consistently and stay on the field. But Nick, what up? Appreciate y'all checking in. I forget what colors. Would we call that purple or pink, Nick? I'm not sure. Either way, I like it. See if I can pop this thing out here. Oh, that's what I can do. I think when I do the little screen things here, these things pop out. Don't they come out on the... Pretty sure they pop out in the chat. I enjoy me some QB School members hit me with my favorite emojis. Maybe not. Oh, maybe it takes a hot minute. Purple, please. Nick, come on, man. You can be stronger in your color preferences. Mix it up every once in a while. Ooh, Ryan, excellent question. What is the new course? The new course, timely, with its title, Master Pass Protection, a QB Lens. It is really, the best way that I can put it is that it is what the information that I learned early in my professional career that I thought put my game and my ability to play the position, learn the position at a different level. It was being able to take all the information at the line of scrimmage, the pass protection, being safe, knowing where you're hot, knowing where your side adjusts are, knowing what the issues are, being able to speak that in a generalizable terms. So you could go to any team. I think that's why I was able to go to really 11 different NFL teams and be able to transition quickly into their system, their scheme. You're just interchanging words. You know the principles, the underlying foundation for pass protection. And it was something that I really thought took my game to the next level, and I'm really excited to share it. This one is the first one that is really specifically, not only, but really specifically designed for quarterbacks. I think anybody on the offensive side of the ball would find some benefit in it, hopefully. But really, I understand, the coverage court one is $300. There's a lot of young quarterbacks that probably can't afford that. I certainly could have, but I could have afforded a 49, if I knew I was going to basically use it as like a investment, like a video game back in the day to a certain extent, as far as just being able to share the information that I thought really took it to the next level. And it will not be $49 forever. I'll telling you that right now. So nobody get hurt feelings when they come at me in a little bit and it's priced significantly more. I think you can sign up. I think I put it in the description to this chat. If not, you can find it in the description to today's video or over on my Twitter or at Teachable. Daniel, what's going on? We got lots of good questions in here popping in. I'll do my best to get through these questions. Russell, thoughts on the CFL? Love the CFL. Is it starting to play soon? I honestly don't keep up with the CFL, but I love my time in Canada. Had a blast. Ben, do you think KC is too reliant on Mahomes to make spectacular plays? No. I mean, sure. I think every team is probably too reliant on their quarterback to make plays when they have to. Whoa, we got a lot of good ones here. Let me see exactly what we got. Well, delusional Patriots fan, I hope you don't get stuck with your person you're not a fan of. Daniel, yo JT, you are the 49ers right now. What would you do to acquire a new QB for next season? I'm sure that they have multiple paths going. I'm probably not as down on Jimmy Garoppolo as everybody else is. It seems like even word on within the organization is that they're moving on. If that's the case, I would have multiple paths. I don't think one path is necessarily guaranteed for success besides for Deshaun Watson, and I'm not sure that they have the ability to make that happen. But you look around the landscape of the league, and this is not a hot take by any means, but you look around the landscape of the league, and it sure seems like there are a number of really good young quarterbacks on rookie deals. Now, they're not all on rookie deals, and they're all coming up to make money, and you can see some guys transitioning into that second contract. But, seems like the younger players are not necessarily in vogue, but they're able to play faster at a higher level. And so I wouldn't be surprised if any team really likes one of these guys coming out, that they go make a move and make that happen. I got nothing on that one, Nick. Daft. Let's see what you got. Mahomes deserved better, and I hope he will be back. I'm sure he will be back. I do think I don't know if he deserved better. I was impressed with his effort, how hard he seemed like he was playing. I honestly got a little nervous there at the end that it was getting a little dangerous and a little silly at certain times with how much he was getting hit and what he was doing back there. But I think to think that they won't be back is probably to not pay attention to the last 2 years of the NFL. So be back, locked in, ready to go. Jim Sands, what good is spectacularly athletic throw if the receiver lets it bounce off their face mask? Yeah, I think some of those throws, and you'd have to ask Patrick, at least the one where he goes horizontal, I'm not convinced he's throwing it to the guy that it hit in his helmet. There's someone right behind him. You don't throw a whole lot of jump balls to wide receivers like that in that situation. Now, again, far be it from me. He's probably the only person that knows for sure. The other one, Kelsey had the bad drop on the third down that I talk about tomorrow, and Hill had a drop on a third down too early. I don't know if that's a drop. That would have been a really tough catch. I honestly thought, I think it was Winfield Jr. Got his hand on that or his finger on that. It's there's no excuses for those type of drops. There's no excuses for the way that the Chiefs came out and played in the first half, really. I mean, that's the truth of it more than anything else. It unfortunately snowballed into a disaster of a game, but there were penalties all over the place. There was all sorts of sloppiness. It wasn't just people getting hit in the face with the ball. John, appreciate you. See what we got here. Hello, JT. The Buck safeties seem to be moving a lot pre-snap fake rotations and going back to middle field open snap, post snap. Is that normal for safeties? I would say yes. I think if y'all haven't gotten a chance to watch the All 22, you're going to enjoy the video tomorrow. And if you're really interested in seeing all of it, I'm going to do the whole thing, Chiefs offensively, for the Patreon community this week. But they played, and I think I might have mentioned it on the live last night. I thought I saw on the broadcast a lot of like three safeties, not three safeties, but three DBs deep. And they did that probably more than I've ever seen an NFL team do it. You see it a little bit more in the college game, or you see it a lot more in the college game. But in addition to the three deep safeties, because it was a broadcast view with the spider cam, you can't really see the depths of the DBs. They were deep. They're like 15 plus yards deep, 3 DB types. And they did a bunch of weird rotations. They did some trap later. They did some unique pressures where they caught Patrick Mahomes with a corner. At one point, that was the one where it bounced off Hill's face. I talk about all those in the video tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think that safeties don't do, faux rotations or making things look closed and running to open. I think most good safeties do that. I think you give a team 2 weeks, you're going to get some unique looks. But I don't think the Chiefs ever thought that they were going to get middle field closed bump man. Like they were showing middle field closed bump man and then running out to play 2-man or to, get in some sort of bracket or, there was never a, middle field closed picture perfect look to throw a go ball. The early go that he threw down the left side, I think was versus quarters. And that was probably one of the few one-on-one opportunities outside the numbers. And it didn't look like it was close. So I think it was just part of the game. I do think that there are some unique looks, and that's really where I want to dig more into it. I spent a lot of time today on the third down stuff, but just the unique looks of what that shell did, how they were able to construct pressure from a 4 or 5 man rush with different games up front and take advantage of what was going on with the offensive line. Yeah. What else we got here? Appreciate the support, John. Hossway Juke, what's good? I don't know if the Patriots or the Bucks are going to be part of the Patreon video. I really don't know. Honestly, I'm not as interested in what the Bucks were doing offensively. I think we saw what they did. They were efficient. They scored. They ran the ball well when they had to. They were efficient in the red area, and Tom threw some checkdowns. There were some actually big shots. I remember the dagger to Mike Evans. There were a couple good throws in there, but as far as just like purely interested in football, what was going on, I think the other side of the ball for the Bucks was the more interesting side. Jason Hawk, I have no idea where he goes. Dark Soul Quiz, what up, bro? What's good? Thoughts on Drew Lock? Bronco fan 13. No real thoughts on Drew Lock. It seems like he, from everything that I've heard and the little I watched, that he regressed a little bit this year. But I'm not gonna lie and say that he was ever someone that I thought was on the track to be a superstar in the league. But we've seen people make bigger jumps before. We'll see. What else we got here? Kev Colley. Could the Chiefs have done anything to help Mahomes and the past? I'm going to guess you meant pass. I think so. I think that the things that they were trying to do, if you go back, anytime games for me snowball, and all of a sudden they feel like they're disasters in the second half. They never happen for the Chiefs, right? Patrick Mahomes. But for us mortals who have been in those types of games, I think you can go back and look at what the plan was. Really, you can see in like the first 2 drives. They did some RPO stuff. Right out the gate, I think what they hit, the first play of the game was an RPO where Patrick Mahomes got kind of confused with the look. They rotated over the top. He threw a hitch for a completion, but it was like 2 or 3 yards. Then they come back the next play, RPO again. He pulls it, gets sacked or throwaway. And so, right away, it's kind of like, whoa, they're on this. And then they did some things where they were moving the pocket. They had a little bit wider edges early in the game. Felt like they were more intentional with being able to move the launch point. But for me, the only thing you would add there is probably maybe some like perimeter screens, a little bit more horizontal as far as just getting the ball out quickly. It doesn't always have to be an RPO, like think of that like slant when they were backed up to Hill, that there was nothing easy about that. He got jacked at the line of scrimmage. Patrick Mahomes had to kind of bail to his left, find a throwing lane, makes a great, crazy, arm angle throw. Just some quick game, get a completion, those types of things. I don't know. They tried a number of screens. Balls were batted down. Some of the screens, they didn't work on the back end. The offensive line couldn't get to the people that they needed to. I mean, I don't think there is just one thing. If they would have done this one thing, they would have had a better shot. I really don't. I think if they would have converted on a couple critical third downs where they ended up getting field goals that could have been touchdowns, yeah. And I spent a lot of time talking about what I think was probably the most important play of the game at the end of the second quarter for the Chiefs, that third down where he ends up throwing the ball away. But in reality, it probably would have been better to take a sack and, run the clock. Not that he ever would, but just what happened when you end up losing, potentially 4 points with the field goal to a touchdown, and then they go down and score a touchdown. It's just a brutal turn of events. Never got out of the way. Halftime show rating from 1 to 10. Hojunk. That's a good question for the chat, actually, 1 to 10. I spent probably 30 seconds watching it, and then I went outside and played catch. I don't know, because we usually play catch during halftime, so we just kept it going. Let me know what you thought about the halftime show. I did see that like crazy meme of him, like me getting seasick in the small room. 8.6 though, that's pretty high, Cooper. It's not bad. Muhammad, we got to lock in the notifications. Appreciate that. All right, 4 out of 10. I've heard mixed reviews. I'm a fan of the weekend. I mean, I feel like it's always hard to nail that halftime show. This question kind of reminds me of those progressive ads right now. Actually, I kind of feel like I'm dating myself. I do love those progressive ads. I think they're progressive, aren't they? With the dude who's up on the stage giving the "Don't become your parents." You woke up early, no one cares. I love that. If I could say that, I could say that 10 times a day. You woke up early, no one cares about something that I think is relevant that nobody else cares about. Fair enough, Connor. Fair enough. Broncos fan 13, Byron Leftwich, future head coach. I mean, I think that there's a pretty good shot to imagine that that's probably going to happen. I make no bones about it on this channel. Obviously, big fan of the position. I think it gives you a huge head start as far as the head coaching search, as far as what that looks like, especially at that level. I know there's been, those things always go in trends. But for me, if you play the quarterback position, you look across the landscape of the league, it seems like many former quarterbacks end up eventually getting an opportunity, and I'm pretty cool if Byron Leftwich does. I still remember him. I want to say it was Marshall, where they're like carrying him. Is that right? Was that in the league or that college? I think there was where he threw. It was like a 2-minute thing, and he could barely walk, but he was a big old dude. He was I thought he was a really good quarterback for a long time. Barry, I have no idea. I would imagine it didn't help. That's for sure, on a number of different levels. Steven, JT, fun fact. The team wearing white jerseys are 14-3 in the last 17 years. That is an interesting fact. We got a lot of fact people dropping bombs in here tonight. Oh, Anime, that's true. Maybe I don't know. I'm sure that they have a number of former or soon-to-be head coaches on that staff. That's how it always works, right? You usually get poached the following year. Your staff gets poached just because it's so hard for those NFL organizations to wait for the Super Bowl teams to get through the Super Bowl. But just looking on that list, who else did I see on that staff? Obviously, Bulls, but Antoine Randall L is on that staff. That was pretty cool. I remember that reverse pass for a touchdown. I think that was a Super Bowl too. We came out the same year. I remember I think I've told the story on this channel about taking the Wonderlick with the quarterbacks that year. Good Antoine Randall L story. Logan Tucker, what's your opinion on the Andrew Luck rumors? Zero opinion. If he wants to come back and pull a Gronk, do it. I felt like he was more getting out of it just because he was tired of the health issues. It wasn't for Gronk. I always felt like he was just tired of not being able to be full Gronk. Oh, Larry Foote as well. Yeah, they got it's just like a Steelers reunion over there. T. Martin fan account. Josh Heupel at Tennessee. Well, this is a good. Y'all will know this more than I do because I haven't paid it as much attention to it recently. But Heupel came from UCF, right? Most recently. Didn't the AD at Tennessee also just come from UCF? If that's the case, those are simple things. That's one thing I will say. I don't know how many. I can't imagine that there are very many coaches necessarily maybe in this chat. If you are, welcome. But I think for younger coaches or younger people in sports, they don't really understand, or at least I didn't when I was playing, how important the relationship between the athletic director and the coach that they're hiring. Very rarely in a revenue generating sport, specifically at Power 5, I would imagine, but really across the board, very rarely are you going to hire someone that you don't know. If you know the person, it's so much easier to make that hire. The confidence level, I think, is so much easier for those decision makers. And so that's why it's so important for these young coaches, specifically who feel like they aren't in the pipeline. It's that type of, whether you have a relationship with the owner, the general manager. In college, it's the athletic directors. And that's why you see guys, as they move up, they go back and kind of pick the staff that they were at, where guys travel with these coaches that they know. It's all about these relationships. That's why it's so kind of incestuous, where people are, you get fired, you get picked up, you get fired, you get picked up. And it's just this circle of, cronyism to a certain degree, but it's all because they trust each other and they know each other, as opposed to necessarily taking a chance on someone who might and technically be a much better coach. But if they don't know you, you're at such a disadvantage for getting those jobs, getting your foot in the door. Boom, boom. What else we got? What's good? All right, 115, hanging strong. Do me a favor, if you haven't, crush the like for me. Nice and easy. Appreciate that, Broncos fan. Y'all do me a hot second and bear with me. Two things I want to get off as far as the quick announcements. Obviously, the course, Master Pass Protection, designed for quarterbacks. If you're looking to take your game to the next level and you're frustrated with whatever you're able to learn, or your situation, or maybe you're going to another stop, or you're moving up levels, I really can't recommend the information in this course enough. It really took my game, my understanding to the next level. It allowed me to play a lot faster, allowed me to learn offenses a lot quicker, and I'm just excited to share it. So get over there, check it out. Next thing, tomorrow. It's actually out right now to the Patreon community, but tomorrow I'm going to drop a new, I've had the coverage tool for a long time, a free way to kind of get in and learn, see how you can beat different coverages with different personnel groups. Tomorrow we drop a Pass Pro quiz. So say you think you're a master, you got pass protection locked down. Tomorrow, we're going to do a quarterback school pass pro quiz. It's not going to be just tomorrow, but it will be available to everybody tomorrow. And you take these 10 questions. It doesn't take a long time to do the quiz or do the survey. And based on your getting the answers right or wrong, you get ranked against everybody who has ever taken it. So I'm pretty excited to share that. Make sure to look for that, check that out, and be good stuff. See where you fall. See if you need to get better. See if you think I'm totally crazy with the questions. But I had fun making it. Cooper, does the pass protection course work in Canada where there are only 12 guys? Yes. Canada. I played in the CFL. It's the same 5 offensive linemen. I mean, it's not quite as extensive with what they asked to do with the tight ends and things like that, but the core elements, the core curriculum, absolutely. Coffee with Coach. What route did you have the most confidence throwing when you played? Take receivers out of the scenario, your favorite route to throw. That is an excellent question. I would say it evolved. I would say when I was younger, like high school, maybe early college, my favorite route to throw were corners. Just like the touch, I liked being able to anticipate a little bit. Then in college, it was definitely the big post, whether it's a backside post, front side, quarters beater. We saw a lot of quarters, a lot of zero, and that big post, boot away, throw the big post, brings a smile to my face still. And then in the league, it was probably early on slants, just because it was an easy way to get the ball out of your hands, quick, clean decisions. And then the older I got, the more I got with Marts, the more I loved the deep in, the 20-yard just chunk in from gun, 5 steps, under center, 7-step or play action, dagger, those types of concepts where you can anticipate it with the free release. You know exactly where the landmark is. You know exactly when you can let the ball go. Just precise deep in. Good question, Coach. T. Martin, I'm catching a lot of your questions tonight. I love wide splits. Love them. Can't get enough wide splits. What else we got here? Oh, 17 Craig Entertainment. Thoughts on JUCO football for quarterback development? My first thought is that I really dislike the term JUCO. Now, granted, this might be the California tree hugger in me, so I preface that. But, bro, they're community colleges. There's nothing junior about the people who work there, the outcomes that people get from going through there. I know a lot of people say it. I know it's especially prevalent in football. I don't care. It's community colleges out the gate. Next thing, for community college football, I think it is outstanding for quarterbacks. If you're looking for a chance to play, say you're frustrated with your high school experience, say you think you're a D1 guy, you're going to bet on yourself. Even if you don't think you're a D1 guy, you're just frustrated with your opportunities. There are so many good community college coaches. I mean, just down here in San Diego, there's a handful of them that I think are very good, that are coaching there because they choose to coach there, that could definitely coach other places. And so I think it's a great opportunity. I think it can go sideways quick if you go out there and you're making poor decisions off the field, or you don't necessarily buy into it's because it's a short stint, right? It's a sprint. It's really usually not very long, not 2 years if you're doing it right. So I think that there's a great way to do it right. I wasn't thinking Palomar, Franklin, but you're not wrong. Not wrong. Combat Sack. What's your initial feel for Trey Lance? I think I did a video. I know I did a video on Trey Lance last year. I'm pretty sure it's on the channel. I don't think I did it Patreon wise. I know I'll probably do another one with his what are we calling that game? Showcase game. I've heard it was not a great showing by him. I don't have a whole lot of initial kind of hot takes on him. I will say that I thought his stat line was ridiculous. When I went and watched the one game that I watched, I thought what they were asking him to do was limited, but what they were asking him to do, he was outstanding at. I mean, he was a dynamic athlete for that level of football, and you have to bounce off the film when you're at a lower level of football, and he definitely does. And so I think he's got a great shot, depending on what the trajectory of him continuing to improve looks like. What else we got? Hit me with something good here. I'm getting a little tired. See if we can crank this sucker up. Oh, man. Is Dak worth keeping? For sure, Justin Thomas. JT, come on, bro. You're anti-Dak? See what the rest of those cats were doing this year? If Brady was on KC and Mahomes on TB, which team would have won last night? I mean, I think whoever was playing quarterback for Tampa Bay was probably winning last night. Doesn't have to be those two. John, any pre-snap corner blitz videos, tendencies, it seems some QBs can't recognize it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. That one and during the Super Bowl, you know, I wasn't I think it's harder when you get guys like Kelsey and Hill, who are guys that get pressed and potentially get double teamed all the time. So the looks that normally say, hey, this corner's at the line of scrimmage, he doesn't usually play there. Well, if you're a stud wide receiver or perimeter player, you're going to get doubled. There's going to be someone up in your face the whole game. So those tendencies that you can look for are a lot harder. I will say that the 3 safety look that the Bucs were doing made it almost impossible. There's no way you would possibly see it. And it's pretty crazy because you can see Mahomes and the Chiefs all pointing. None of them even think that the corner's blitzing. In fact, it's almost, they tell the back to go to the opposite side that he doesn't have to be in the pass pro, and they end up letting the corner come free. So, you know, it's tough for anybody. Dang, Justin, coming in hot. All right, bro. It was a long day. Launch days are fun, but they are long. All sorts of good stuff. All right, let's do 2 more, Dave. Perry, I see you coming in hot with the question. Again, I appreciate everybody who hit like. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Fun to get in here, talk a little bit of ball. Now that we're back in the offseason, I will do my absolute best. Preface that. Bracket that, okay? Parentheses. To do Monday Night Lives moving forward. I enjoy them. It's a good time. But if schedules change, so don't hold me to it. But let's lock in here for a little bit. What do we got? Oh, here we go. Easy choice. Smith Sports Tactics. Do the Chiefs win? Damn, you did it like that. That's dirty. It's amazing. I need to come. Hey, if you have an idea for April Fool's video, let me know. Lock in right now because I am always looking for April Fool's videos. But that thing still gets people upset. I had a lot of fun doing that video. I would never have thought that video would take off like it did. In fact, the last one, people come at me every day, mostly because of the thumbnail. I bet they don't even watch the video, but sure as hell, man, the referees didn't help last night with the whatever it's called, the people thinking that there's some conspiracy theory. But man, people hit those videos every day. The Nathan Peterman one, I don't know the dude, but man, it was funny. I had a good time doing it. Oh man, appreciate that, Haas. People were mad at me about the Nathan Peterman video for a hot second. I felt like maybe like his circle of friends got it or something. Be able to take a joke, man. I've been there. I've been there. I know, but the April Fool's videos are fun, but it starts creeping up on you. We're already in February. I got less than 2 months here. I got to lock in with something good. Let me know. This is a community. This is a team effort here. So, again, I sincerely appreciate the support. Do me a favor, and if you haven't, check out the course. If you do anything to do with offensive football, you're looking to take your game to the next level, check out the course. I really am excited to share the information. I really think it will help quarterbacks take their game to the next level, take offensive coaches to take their game to the next level. And if you know quarterbacks, share it with them. Be on the lookout for the Pass Pro quiz, locked in. See if you can get 10 out of 10. Haven't had anybody get 10 out of 10, and I've had a number of coaches already take it. So get over there, check it out tomorrow. All right? Video drops 6 a.m. Chiefs Nightmare. Woo-hoo! It was full fire. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you on the other side.